and talent can be developed through hard work, good strategies, persistence, dedication, and input from others. Where focus goes, energy flows. So focus your energy on continuous learning and stop wasting time thinking about looking smart. Build resistance, build vulnerability, build courageousness, and face adversity with a smile. Become comfortable with uncomfortable. You know, the only person that you need to prove anything to is you. Imperfect action trumps perfect inaction. Stop wasting time and get on with it. Failure is part of learning, so start learning by taking action.
Kristian Livolsi, it is Wednesday afternoon. We are here with the hot seat, and we've got a really cool topic this week. You are back in Adelaide. I saw you in Sydney this week, which was awesome. How is your week been? How's your week been?
It's been an interesting week. Let's just say it's been an interesting week. It's been really busy. And in fact, I'd say that I've actually learned a lot.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting, we were just having a conversation about the lag that happens on eCam every week and trying to get to the end of that. And it started off a little bit well. We're lagging in there a little bit again. So we'll see where today goes. We'll see what happens and if we can get to the bottom of these issues. So thank you, everyone, for being here with us on the hot seat. Today, we're going to be talking about team management. And I think this is a really important topic coming into this year. And I know we discussed this a little bit last week as well, is where people are at the beginning of the year, whether they have epiphanies of wanting to change jobs, whether they don't come back, whether people are seeking out new careers. So let's get into my first question for you. And I wanted to ask you, Kristian, what measures do you take to ensure a high employee satisfaction? What are you doing to keep people really engaged in their roles and not seeking to leave?
Well, high employee satisfaction is critical to any thriving organization. And achieving it actually involves a handful, at least, of strategies. And the first one that I always encourage our clients, and even in our own organization, obviously we learn and then teach, is encourage the transparent communication between leaders, management, and all staff. And the way we do that is that we regularly seek feedback. And what we also do is act on it, which shows the employees that their opinions are valued and considered. So that's really important. We ensure that people are fairly compensated for their efforts. We also promote healthy balance between work and personal life. In our organization, we have flexible working arrangements. You're a busy mum of 3, plus a dog, plus Gav. Bonnie has an active personal life. Claude's saving the world. So, and the list goes on. So, we're very understanding of that. And I think that builds a thriving culture and it gets people engaged at a very high level. So for other organizations, that might be additional paid time off, working remotely for flexible working hours, 4-day weeks. We use them across all the different clients that we advise. Thank you to the handful of people that are watching, that we can see that are watching, and it'd be great if you could drop a couple of comments. Let us know you're here. Hashtag live. The other thing, we try and create recognition programs, performance bonuses. At the moment, you guys, the leadership team, are working towards coming to Fiji with me in August. So that's a huge target. All expenses paid. Trip for us to go and learn and thrive and grow. And you got to set realistic targets so people can earn and achieve. The other thing that you could do is regularly acknowledging and also rewarding people for their hard work and achievements.
Yeah.
We often don't do that enough,
Mm.
just as business owners, because we're so caught up in running our businesses. The other
Yeah.
thing that you really is a big one, and it works in all the organisations that we consult to, is and also our own, is offer opportunities for professional growth. Now, in our organisation, that's pretty
Mm.
straightforward because that's the business we're in.
Yeah.
Yes, I write strategies, but our other programs are all around professional development. So,
Mm.
this can include training programs, workshops, conferences, but, a clear path towards career advancement is really, really important.
Yeah.
And then just a couple of other things that we always do is good leadership is key to employee satisfaction. So leaders should always be approachable, respectful, supportive, provide guidance and support where needed, but really being accountable. That's so
Mm.
important, right? So if you want to foster a workplace culture that is supportive, inclusive, and collaborative, then you need to
Mhm.
ensure the work environment is safe. Psychological safety, but also conducive to feedback, right?
Mm.
And the thing that we always do, and I do it with you guys, and I do it on the boards that I chair, is that we involve employees in decision making processes, especially in matters that directly affect them in the work and their work environment. So
Mm.
I think there's enough tips there in terms of what we do, and all
Yeah.
of those are practical. You can actually deploy them at any given time.
Yeah. So what I'm taking away from that is culture essentially is a massive part of employee satisfaction. I'm going to ask a sub question because I do and I love to do this. What's more important? And I want to keep it really easy because I know we don't want these episodes to blow out too long, but what is more important, money or culture for an employee?
Oh, culture,
Yeah.
absolutely, like hands down. I mean, you're always going to have people that put a huge weight on income and their own professional, and then to meet their needs of their living costs.
Yeah.
But high achievers rarely focus on money. The money comes.
Yeah.
I know that I spoke this week gave a keynote, and I emphasize strongly on wealth creation um, and high achievement at that level. And perhaps that wasn't always well received because not everybody can aspire or achieve that. And so that
Mhm.
was a big learning lesson for me, is that for some people, um, there are other levers, and I would strongly suggest that people don't focus. Don't make the assumption that if you're going to go and speak to a group of salespeople, that all they are is driven by money, right? And that's
Mm.
the assumption that I made, and it was an incorrect assumption.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move into the second question. And I feel like you've kind of already covered off some of these things in what you said in the first question, but what strategies would you implement or would you recommend implementing to enhance a team productivity? What are the big things that you could do to really sort of just boost them to perform?
Wow. Okay, I could come up with a dozen at least, but let me just focus on the three that I know that we implement immediately, because that's going to give our listeners the the biggest opportunity for them to implement in their organization. One, establish clear, achievable goals.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fundamental, and ensure every team member understands what is expected of them and how their work in particular contributes to the larger objectives. Right. This clarity
Mm.
actually helps focus efforts and minimize confusion and inefficiencies. Where focus goes, energy flows, right? Straight out,
Yeah.
simple. A credit to Tony Robbins for that statement. The second thing that we do immediately is you empower your team members by giving them autonomy in their work. And this approach, Simone, fosters a sense of ownership and responsibility, but it also
Mm.
encourages innovation and self motivation. So when team members feel trusted and valued, they are way more likely to take more likely to be innovative, but also be proactive in solving problems, which therefore takes away the dependency on you as a leader. And finally, right, and I said this earlier, maintaining open lines of communication, providing regular and constructive feedback. This helps in quickly addressing any issues or challenges that may have arisen, and it also keeps everyone on the same page. Now, I always encourage team members to share their ideas and their
Mm-hmm.
feedback as well, because it creates a collaborative work environment where everyone feels that their input is valued, but it actually is a part of our values, which is to fail forward. Um, if you make a mistake, if you fail, you've got to not only own it and be accountable, but you then have to take the necessary steps to resolve it, so you don't continue making the same mistakes and fail again. So, and that's something that I take really, really seriously. And, sometimes I take it so seriously, it can really affect me, as you guys know. I take a lot of things very, very personally, particularly when I haven't been able to deliver what I think I can,
Yeah.
and I take all feedback constructively. So I don't care how negative it
Mhm.
is. I take it and then do what's required in order
Yeah.
to meet my own very high expectations, but
Mhm.
then deliver for our clients. And I'm glad I don't fail that often. So, because otherwise I'd be in a terrible mess.
What I really appreciate, and I learn so much from you showing that example, is I hear a lot, and I've learned a lot in the past about leading from the front. We hear these words of, as a leader, taking people on the journey with you. If they feel that they have invested interest, then they're more likely to participate and have that drive and motivation to reach the outcome as well. So I really enjoy how open you are about the journey of your leadership, because I think not only does that demonstrate to us as a team, but we share this with our clients as well, which then we all get to learn the lessons from, instead of everyone following on the same path and facing those same lessons. So thank you for sharing that, because I think it's really valuable to our listeners, to our internal teams, to our clients, to see, okay, cool, I can learn from that. I don't need to make that mistake myself, and I can move forward and, path my own way forward in that
Yeah,
regard.
and look, Simone, thank you for that. It's nice to hear that's it's coming across the way it needs to come across. And I mean, today, I shared a very personal story from this week to our mastermind clients, and interestingly enough, two or three of them have significant keynotes that they're also doing, and I was able to share with them what I learnt from mine. And you know, I mean, I've been very fortunate. In fact, all of the keynotes I've ever given have had immense impact in a positive and constructive way. And so on this occasion, where I perhaps didn't meet um, my own expectations and expectations of said client, um, I was able to bring that back with all the learning, and I think that's really important. That's why people are in our masterminds, because of that reason. And I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind sharing with the world what I've learned, what I failed. It's really frustrating when I don't deliver on those things, because deeply, how much I care about people, and how much I care about people winning, whether it be in their relationships, whether it would be in their family, whether it would be their financially, even their personal development. So for me, it's it really does hurt me when I don't follow through. Or I mean, I thought I did the right thing, but I didn't. And so there's a lot of really cool things that came about from us as a team debriefing. We record everything, so we watch it and we replay it back. And you know, um, people might be wondering what I'm going on about. I mean, if I'd presented to a room of entrepreneurs and business owners, there would have been absolutely a standing ovation, I'm sure, because I've given that presentation so many times over and over again. So, one of the
Mhm.
biggest lessons for me was to not consider that just because it works for the majority, it's going to work all the time. And that's a huge, and this all, by the way, relates to the employee satisfaction, because the um, methodological same methodology that I have just demonstrated in this brief conversation is the same that we apply within our own organization when we just did it now in our own workshop, didn't we? We're running
Yeah.
campaigns, and we were sitting there debriefing. What are the wins? What are the not? What are the losses? Where can we improve? It's that immediate design thinking, instant iteration. Eric Ries's book, the lean. Eric Ries, the book, the Lean Startup. Being able to maneuver quickly and create the pivots that you need in order to not stay stagnant. And I think that's probably the best advice I can give the people that are listening today, the people that are going to listen on replay. And this is me, probably at, I guess, the most reflective that I think I've been on one of these calls, and that's because I'm
Mm,
going through a reflective journey this whole week, and
yeah.
that again is how much I deeply care about the outcomes that we want to deliver for all people. Okay,
Mhm.
not just the niche that we work in, not just the avatar that we serve. I know that you guys are trying to bottleneck me into that, and I appreciate that. And you guys are right. You heard it here. I said that my team are right first here. But I deeply care about all people, and so yeah. So that hopefully that answers the second question and the third question and the fourth question. But I
Yeah.
know that you've also got a third question. So
One more question before I get you off this call today and back into your work. My third question, Christian, is how do you approach the development of future leaders within your team? Like, how what are you looking for? What are you looking to spot out when you see those little gems to think, maybe that's someone I want to nurture onto my leadership team, or I see something more in this person. What do you do that? How do you approach that?
look, developing future leaders is a very strategic process that requires um, thoughtful and proactive. It requires you to be thoughtful and proactive. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Now, I don't know if you're speaking to me because the lag is
Nope, I'm just listening.
okay. Great,
Go.
because wow, that is about an hour behind. So look, I'll just continue talking and assuming that the AI is doing something with your face. So look, the qualities that I like to look for in future leaders, both in our organisation and that of our very esteemed and loved clients, is things firstly that align with their organizational values and their purpose.
Mm,
If you don't have alignment, you can't have most things, and this is where people make an error initially when identifying key leaders. They look at their skills and attributes rather than what are their values. Are they aligned to us? No point in picking a future leader who is, let's say you run an engineering firm and you've got someone who wants to become a doctor, and all of a sudden you identify them as, a future person, and yet as soon as they finish med school, they're going to go away. You need to be where is their direction? Because
mm,
it's a huge investment, right?
yeah,
So the things that we look for are initiative, strategic thinking, adaptability, and the ability to motivate and influence others. They are, for me, the very fabric of the leaders that we must, the qualities that we must be looking for.
mhm,
Okay, because remember, uh, all skills can be taught. Okay, if you have a growth mindset, you know that.
yeah.
So it's you did some of the things you can't necessarily teach. You either
Okay.
are a strategic thinker. I mean, you can be taught, but you either are a strategic thinker. You either have initiative or you don't. You definitely either are an adaptable person or not. Um, and not many people actually have the ability to motivate and influence. Um, and by that, I don't mean that you have to be gregarious and outgoing and an extrovert, right? That's actually just
Yeah.
BS. Some of the best
Mm,
motivating and influential leaders are introverts. Okay.
yeah.
So the other thing is you need to provide future leaders with those qualities, opportunities to grow in order to develop the skills that you need. So, in the past we've created challenging assignments. I challenge you guys all the time. We let them lead projects or teams, and even provide rotational roles across departments, to broaden their experience and also to understand the business better, right? Um, I always try and pair uh, people in a peer to peer mentoring role um, within the organization, and seek out the external coaches to provide growth and development support. Okay. Happy birthday, Ethan. It was Ethan's birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay. Great. We invest in people's growth through targeted training programs. Don't be shy to invest money in your people, especially the leaders. It'll actually repay you back tenfold. There's a lot of research in this area. This could be in terms of doing leadership workshops, executive education courses, online courses, but focus on building critical leadership skills like strategic planning and decision making and effective communication. They're sort of the
Yeah.
things that will have a greater impact in that. Um, Always feedback loops. Regular feedback is crucial for anyone's development, right? We just heard me talking about how I take feedback and then use it immediately, not a month later, immediately, and put it into practice in order to move forward with confidence. So constructive feedback helps them understand their strengths, as well as define the areas of improvement. And I think finally, it's really important to incorporate all of these emerging leaders into your succession planning, right? So this ensures that they become capable individuals ready to step up when the senior management roles become available. And a really good example, we've done that at Bohu Engineering really, really well. I'm very blessed and fortunate to be the chairman of that company, but also I'm the chief advisor, working as a mentor to that leadership team, and the emerging leaders. And we do fortnightly one-on-ones with me, so that I can understand the pulse of the organization. I give them incredible value, or at least I hope I do, by helping them and supporting them, not just professionally, but in their life.
Yeah.
And then they internally hold a leadership weekly, leadership quarterly, and then leadership weekly, leadership monthly, and then every quarter we bring all of the leaders, emerging leaders, together. And this time we actually did it at the CEOs and managing director at their home, and hosted it there for the day. And then the whole board came there and did it. So it's a really big family, really deep culture. And I mean, their purpose is together we thrive. And so it speaks volumes of who they are. And I've always said it, they have made me better people, all of them. And it's so then we do a leadership retreat each year where we bring them all together again and spend a couple of days. That is the investment you need to do. I mean, okay, they are a 8-figure company, so it's not everyone falls in that boat, but we
Yeah.
apply the same methodology for a $1 million business, and
Yeah.
that's the way you grow. I mean, I can give you lots of examples of amazing people that we call clients and I call friends. Some of them have been with me for 5 years. Don't confuse the rhetoric there. When I'm chairman, there isn't a friendship. That is me discharging my fiduciary duties. Um, but I can hang out socially with these people, and we talk about family, and we talk about relationships, and we talk about what inspires us, what motivates us, and then we share that with our emerging leaders. We call them the emerging crop. Bohu in particular is 160 kilometers out of the CBD, so it's the crop makes more sense,
Yeah.
agriculturally.
Yeah.
But these things are so valuable, and I you don't need someone like me to help you implement those. You can implement them yourself. But I
Mm.
do encourage companies to find an external person that can help, steer that ship. Because as leaders, as owners, you got 1,000 other things going on, right? And I always
Yeah.
say that we are really lucky with the smartest people. My clients are super smart because
Mm.
they have been able to make very clear decisions that they need someone externally that supports that rudder for them, right? And make sure that if they deviate off course, that someone else is there to be able to help them navigate back. And I wish that I was that smart when I first got into business. Um,
Yeah.
and um, and I mean that from the most humble place. I
Mm.
really did. I mean, I never would have gone through the pain and suffering that I did had I had people in my team externally. So a non-executive uh, you know, director overseeing the growth and the challenges that come with growth, right? So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully that
What
answers
I find
all
really
your questions.
interesting, what I find really interesting from just listening to that and a perspective I'd never thought of is how much fulfillment you get as a leader in developing these people and watching them thrive and, develop into that team. Although, I've only ever thought about it in the context of the person being developed and not how that can actually impact and shape you as a leader to somewhat be on that journey with them. So I think that's really cool. I think that's my biggest takeaway from that question is the fulfillment you have from a leader from helping people develop into what their full potential is.
Look, Simone, you nailed it. Um, I think and I always say to people, we hear a lot of people complain about leaders, bad leaders. All employers are bad employers. They want to underpay, undercut. That's actually just crap. That is like
Mm,
5%. It's the minority, right? The other 95 are out there busting their guts, right? And out of that 95, 15% at least have a profound care for the people that work with them. Now, I don't know the stats on that, but I'm looking at just what I've seen. I know in our
mm,
client base, it's 100% care about their people, right?
yeah.
And that's why I say we are so lucky. We are so lucky and blessed that we have such amazing clients and
Mm,
who sometimes put up with my BS, and with my tangents because they know how I think. You know, um, they've gotten to know me and they realize that I think out loud because I want to teach them how I'm thinking so they can apply the same principles when I'm not there. I used to have a saying when I was younger, even when I'm not there, I'm there, right? And that's
mm,
when I owned, I don't even remember how many, but it was too many restaurants and bars and catering businesses and other businesses. Um, and I had this vision that even if I'm not there, I'm there. And I got mocked by people because they were like, "Oh, look at that." I'm like, "Well, my vision is, but I was young. I was 27, 28 years old, and I didn't
mm,
have all the 30 million of working capital that I needed. I wasn't going out seeking external investments, and it's because I didn't have all of the right advice. And even when I did get the right advice from some of the Adelaide's best mentors, and even some in Sydney, I just wasn't listening and um,
mm,
and that is why I have the approach that I have in our organisation, which if you're going to pay me and you don't listen to my advice, then you shouldn't be paying me and I shouldn't be working with you, right?
yeah.
I'm not perfect, but I will treat your business and your people like I would treat mine with total respect and dignity. And if I'm saying something, there's generally a reason for saying it, and because everything I say has a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
But even I have to check myself to make sure that I'm not getting ahead of myself. And um,
Yeah.
and it's very easy, ladies and gentlemen, to get ahead of yourself. It's very easy to become overconfident, and it's incredibly easy to forget where you came from when you are doing exceptionally well. And
Mm,
I've got to say, every now and then, everyone needs a good royal kick in the ass, right, to remind them that we're here to provide a service to people, and that's what we do. And like I said today, the smile on the faces of our tribe in the Evolve program,
Yeah.
and tomorrow morning I get to see all the people in our COD program in their
Yeah.
mastermind. Um, you know, it's there's nothing better. And the
Mm,
way they support each other. I so feel like I want to be able to one day confidently say that I did that for my children. It's to
yeah.
see as their leader, leading from the front and owning shit. And there's my first swear word for the whole thing. I lasted 30 minutes, right? Um, you know,
Almost got there. Almost one clean G-rated episode. Almost.
yeah. But look, it's something that I'm very proud of what we're building. What we are
Yeah.
building, not I. It's what we are building.
Mhm.
And you today actually said that on the call. You said, "Isn't it incredible how we all use the word we when we are together?"
Yeah.
And that was our entire evolve core group.
Yeah,
And
this is our external clients that we're having, Q&A sessions with, and we talking about a business like it's everyone's business. It's actually one person's business, but the collective input and the way that we support, it just made me smile because I was like, it just felt like family. We're all problem solving together, and we're all invested in each other's success, which to me is super fulfilling. And one of the reasons that I came on this journey and I wanted to work with you. So it was a very fulfilling moment for me seeing that today. But Kristian Livolsi, that is the end of our 3 questions. This is the hot seat. Now I think we're going to test out a few different time zones, right? We're gonna try and shake this hot seat up a little bit and bring it to people at a different time.
yeah, we are. And I think also people need to check out the podcast. We're now podcasting almost every day, which is going to be
Mm.
massive. It's a big commitment for us to share. Um, and anyone that knows or has listened to the podcast, they'll know it actually is filled with a lot of value. And I know that because a lot of our new clients come from the podcast. They often spend a couple of years or a year or so listening to it. And then when they're ready on their terms, they come to us. And I want to just say thank you to all of those listeners who um, have made that podcast, hit the top 100 in so many countries. I was looking the other day, and we are, in the top 100 in Nigeria, and in a lot of developing countries, and that brings me a lot of joy because that's gives them the opportunity to see the opportunities that we have, and hopefully multiply and create something for them and their families. Even though it's from afar. So thank you to all of you that have stayed on the call. I encourage you to engage with us. Simone, thank you for always coming up with questions that challenge me. Some inspire me as well. Some it's like, yeah, let's just go give away everything we do. Um, but I am really grateful for you and our team. I've seen how you and Bonnie have been working tirelessly to roll out the new program, and then how we're reacting to the pace at which we have to change. It's been years in development, but I think just one final golden nugget for people. That was a really good example of leadership. I had to I had to empower you guys at the end of last year. I had to let go because I was just getting in the way, and I wasn't allowing you both to flourish and take
Mhm.
that ownership. And the change is chalk and cheese. And now we're just waiting for the results, and then we'll celebrate in Fiji and learn some more. And you know, hopefully, people can see that what we do talk about on the hot seat in particular is actually stuff that we do every single day, and we do it not
Yeah,
just in our organization but with our clients.
100%. Absolutely. Well, Christian Livolsi, you have lots more client appointments to get to tonight. I'm actually going to go and download my passport application to renew that because I'm just manifesting Fiji. That is definitely going to happen. So I need to get my passport updated. So, everyone, thank you very much for being with us. This is the Hot Seat with Christian Livolsi, and we look forward to seeing you back next Wednesday. Have a good night.
Working with Kristian is a game changer. Hi, I'm Adrian Lee from GrowthLink Coaching and Consulting. I started working with Kristian in August 2020 as his LinkedIn growth consultant. We worked together on his LinkedIn brand for about 12 months before becoming business partners in Growth Outsourced late 2021. Kristian is a hidden genius. He helped me break through a significant financial target by restructuring my growth consulting online business offer. I don't know of any one person who can give you so much focus, clarity, and structure to live your purpose and get shit done. He holds you accountable to your words and gives you the tough love when you need it. I love his no BS approach to business and life. Everyone needs a Kristian Livolsi in their life. Do whatever you have to work with Kristian. This is just the beginning for us, and I am super pumped to continue growing together. Thanks again, Kristian.